What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for the Quick and the Dead on Dead of Night. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Dead of Night is the map where we have to destroy 151 infested structures to clean out the infestation. This would be easy were it not for the fact that the infested structures all spawn enemies at night and attack our base, alongside several special infested enemies sometimes spread a disease upon death. If your guys get infected, they keep taking damage until death. Then they spread it too. All enemy units move very fast.
Okay, so we have Eviling and Zero in the call today. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Okay, Eviling,
Alright.
how do we rank the commanders this week?
So, Black Death, do you have a form of negating it somehow? Can you out heal it? Otherwise, you are going to suffer hard, and be down several ranks. Speed Freaks, can you do something that either slows them down, or can you block them off? If not, they're gonna run into your base, get in your face, and you kill them. They're gonna give you Black Death. So if you can't handle Black Death or handle Speed Freaks, you're definitely gonna go down a tier. If you have ways of dealing with both, yeah, you're gonna go up a tier.
How about you, Zero?
Yeah, it's just pretty much regular Dead of Night, except commanders that rely on units are punished a lot more. So yeah, clearing. The thing about Speed Freaks is because the units move faster, they'll have a bigger chance of actually getting closer to your units, which makes actually the units which would normally be somewhat okay against Black Death by just their range a lot worse because yeah, the Speed Freaks the enemies just run way closer to you, way faster.
Okay, let's begin. Abathur, what do we have?
Abathur is nice because he has a way of dealing with Black Death with his biomass. So P2, P1 are going to be definitely ideal for this. Though he's definitely one of the commanders where making units is not going to be punished so bad. It's just the speed freaks you're going to have to be mindful of. You're going to have a lot of infested on night one coming into your base at breakneck speed, and they'll be running through all your toxic nests. And the problem is with like the infested civilians and stuff like that, they don't give you any biomass, so you preferably don't want them running over your stuff. And getting that early biomass is not going to be the easiest with Black Death and Speed Freaks going around, but I mean,
You can lure at the start
the
of the
good
map.
thing is you can lure at the start of the map. The biomass, the toxic nests are not susceptible to biomass and nor spore crawlers. You just have to worry about that roach that you're going to be putting biomass on early. Or roach or swarm hosts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rush out
you,
of Swarm
you
Host,
want to
switch off the ultimate evolution, then lure.
yes, and lure, but you don't want to catch a Black Death too early because you need a certain amount of biomass before it can start um, out healing it. So
That's true.
yeah,
Letter.
yeah. So just be mindful of that. Abathur I have from A to B.
A to B. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I have a Mutation also. You will have to lure. Well, I guess not have to. I just think it'll make things a lot easier if you get that 100 biomass swarm host pretty early. Now, because you're not going for ultimate evolutions here, you can just go for the double biomass mastery, which makes the mid game even easier after the first night, just because you'll be floating in biomass with how much you're gonna be getting. So yeah, the clearing will not be the fastest, but you also won't die. Just because swarm hosts are very good. So yeah, I think A tier. It's a very safe pick.
Okay, A tier. You want first prestige or third prestige, but you don't want the third prestige. You want first prestige or second
Not
prestige, but
third.
you don't want third prestige because you
Yeah.
don't want a lot of ultimate evolutions. The main thing here is you don't want ultimate evolutions because those will not be able to out heal Black Death. So, Abathur in A tier. Alarak, where do we have him?
Is notoriously bad against Black Death, so yeah, he will suffer a lot here. Now he also just isn't that great at defending this map, so two bad things. Yeah, you'll kind of just not even sure what you'd go here. Probably like destroyers with havocs to at least keep range, then tank with either like buildings or Alarak. But even then, that will still be really tricky. So yeah, I haven't been like C or D tier.
C or D tier? What do you think, Eviling?
I contemplate putting Alarak in F, but I think I'll reserve F for some other commanders. D or E sounds. I have him from D to E. Black Death. He's gonna suffer a lot. The best he can do is uh, just hemorrhaging supplicants to keep Alarak alive, or you just let Alarak die. It's your choice on how you want to play that. But having Alarak on the field is going to be good to have, even if he catches Black Death when the night comes around. If he's not P1, at least like he's able to one shot a lot of stuff, a lot of infested civilians, and keep his health pool going. But you can't stop doing destruction wave. You got to keep on killing stuff to keep Alarak going. Yeah, I would not. I don't know about recommending P3 for this. I don't know what to really recommend for this. Yeah, but at DRE, it doesn't matter what you pick.
Wait,
He's gonna
D or
suffer.
E or C or D?
I have from D to E.
D to E.
Yeah, yeah, D, I'd say.
Okay, both of you agree with D. Let's put Alarak in D. No prestige recommendations if you're D or lower. That's just how the way we do it. Arcturus, where do we have him?
Arcturus. So his bunkers don't really care. It's just keeping the laborers around to repair the bunkers. You're gonna take losses on that aspect, but laborers are cheap. So they say they're not expendable, but they kind of are. And then once you get your earth splitters set up, you can clear pretty safely. It's just a matter of keeping stuff out of your race. And yeah, I think Arcturus is a good A to B.
A to B. How about you, Zero?
I personally had them in S tier. Bunkers just defend very well, while Earthsplitters clear the map pretty fast. Of course, I guess you kind of have to put the work in to actually clear the Earthsplitters. Like, you can't just leave them shooting in one place, but if you can manage that, I think he's really good here. And yeah, he finishes the map fast enough that he doesn't really rely on, like, special infested RNG, which some commanders may, so yeah, I think he's really good here.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about S tier, Eviling?
I like Arcturus. I'm not opposed to S.
Okay, Arcturus S tier. Prestige wise, you want the third one, so you have cheaper guys in the bunkers?
Yeah.
Or you want first one, so you can have your Earth Splitters generating mandate?
I'd say P3.
Yeah,
You don't really need mandate here. At least that much.
Alright. Arcturus and S tier. Let's move on. Artanis, where do we have him?
Poor Artanis. Yeah, he's already really bad at this map. Then he just add things that just make him even worse. He doesn't clear very well. I guess he clears better than Alarak because Tempests can allow you to like outrange buildings slightly, but it's still terrible. Well, now that I think of it, he probably defends better than Alarak too, just because Unbound Fanatics. It's still very bad, but I think it's like I don't know, I still have it like D tier, just probably slightly above Alarak.
Okay. How about you, Eviling?
D tier. That's pretty generous. I have Artanis from E to F. He has no ways of really dealing with Black Death. He's going to get infected. That's just without saying. And yeah, he just this is a weak map for him. Yeah, your best bet of clearing is going to be P3, sending in the Unbound Fanatics to clear as much as they can using solar bombardment, and otherwise hold on to dear life to keep your base from getting run over.
How about you, Zero?
I mean, I think just his like Unbound Fanatics alone can like defend better than Alarak, because especially with
Yes, that
Tempest,
Tutu was able to
yeah,
defend with just the Archon dudes.
yeah, on Tempest, they one-shot buildings with their Disintegrate, so you can just like run in, pop Disintegrate, then just run away, and that way you shouldn't get infected. So, of course, he's still really, really bad here, but I think he's like either Alarak tier or slightly above. I don't think he's worse.
Hmm.
My argument on why he's not as good as Alarak. At least Alarak can heal himself by killing things.
That's true.
So
But
I mean,
It's
you're
true.
wasting. I mean, not necessarily wasting. You're keeping yourself alive, but you are spending your precious Spirit of the Dune energy, whereas Alarak is just popping, waving his hands every time it's off cooldown
how does he
for
defend
free.
multiple lanes at night?
For Alarak
Yeah,
or for Artanis?
Alarak.
For Alarak.
For Alarak, it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be walling off. So using either cyber cores or warp gates, and then um, putting um, putting vanguards around with havocs to give them extra range, or put them up on top of the cliffs, and yeah, just try to create a wall of pew pew to keep stuff
That sounds awful.
from.
How
It
about
is awful.
Artanis? How does Artanis defend multiple lanes at night?
He drops an Unbound Fanatic, and that kind of just stalls it for the entire duration, and then you just cycle through the orbital strikes. I guess we can also just like make cannons in case like a few stray infested make it through.
They all sound
Yeah,
equally
I think
horrible.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why they're
both.
rated this low. No,
I
and like you
mean,
said, it sounds equally as terrible, not worse.
yes, that's
Which
what I was trying to get at. Like, none of them seem like a whole lot better or worse than the other. Maybe better, but in the same tier, or worse, but in the same tier. Does it
yeah,
sound like
that's
a
what I'm
whole
thinking.
tier better or
Same tier.
worse?
Like, I think they're just really similar to each other. They're both like somewhat army reliant commanders that can't use their army because they just die to Black Death and can't really defend.
I'm actually thinking whether both of them just go down to E tier. Both of
I'm
them
not
sound
opposed to
awful.
it.
I'm not
Yeah,
opposed to that either.
yeah,
Just
just stick them both in there.
send them both in the Shadow Realm.
Sorry, Alarak.
I didn't seriously suggest that, by the way, but like,
Let them rock shear them their way in there.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sorry guys, let's move on. Dahaka, where do we have?
He can eat stuff and kind of keep himself alive, and uh, but yeah, once he gets infected, then it starts getting bad. The good thing is, if he can keep stuff out of his base, then his creeper host will be able to do a lot of work. But how do you keep them alive? Another uh, avenue or option that you have is making mutalisks. So with their revive, they'll be able to. I mean, they're still going to get infected. They're still going to succumb to COVID eventually. But I mean, it gives them. It's kind of like going with Kerrigan's Ultralist. They'll do quite a bit before they go down. Um, as for defending, Dahaka has I mean, with P2 pack leaders, I mean, they're going to be able to hold one side for quite a while. The question is when other sides start opening up, you only can have one pack leader available. So I'm not too sure what to make of that. I put Dahaka from B to C.
B to C. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I have him C tier also. You're probably just gonna rely on worms a lot to defend, just because they're your only structure. Which, funnily enough, this will make the Haka a mineral-starved commander for once in his life. Yeah, he still isn't good. With your gas, you probably want to make like creeper hosts so they can at least help from range, or like guardians. But with those guys, you'll have to be even more careful. I guess like the good thing about creeper hosts is they can just like send their creepers onto the map and just snipe buildings. during the day also, which yeah, he's still not amazing. Worms are pretty bad for like static defense purposes, but yeah, I guess it's his best option still. So C tier.
How about you, Eviling?
I said B to C, so we agree upon C.
Okay, both of you say C. Let's put Daka in C. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix. So another somewhat army-based commander. Now this guy's a lot better just because he uses champions, which even though they will die, you just send in more, and the new guys will not have Black Death. So yeah, you can just split your champions like one or two on each side, depending on what knight you are in, I guess. And then yeah, that should kind of just hold. It's not perfect, and yeah, it's a lot of labor to just keep sending them, and you don't want you don't want to let your shells get infected because that will be bad for them. But yeah, if you can manage that, he's definitely workable. It's not good, but I think he's like B tier.
B tier. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I have Phoenix from A to B. Yeah, as long as you can keep the stuff from getting to your shells, getting inside your base, you'll be okay. He has the tools to do it. He can stasis stuff. He can send in the Predator suit, send in the Phoenix suit, and then the good thing is when you switch suits, that takes the Black Death off. So as long as you're getting the most out of each suit, switching it, and then that helps to kind of do, I guess, safety checks around of that whatever gets past your champions, and then the champions themselves, they, yeah, with P2 they can clear the map, no, without much fuss, and as long as
Letter?
A to B.
A to B. Okay, both of you said B. Let's put Phoenix in B. Han and Horner, where do we have them?
On Horner, so their defense isn't the greatest, but if you can get your fighter platforms up, it becomes a very safe way to clear, and it essentially puts a timer on aim on. If you know how to clear efficiently, aka every time you send out a strike fighter, you should be able to nail. If it's a smaller buildings, you should be able to nail at least 2 or 3, or in one good instance, even four buildings with one strike fighter sortie. Um, with that being said, yeah, you're gonna kind of have to hang on to dear life to keep the stuff out of your base. The first night is not too bad. Second night is not too bad. Third night it starts getting a little iffy because you're gonna have to spread yourself amongst multiple fronts to defend. I would say the best bet for defending is getting your Hellbats out. So you keep your galleons back, just send out Hellbats, make sure they have the fear upgrade, and then when they dive, which they're going to because of Black Death, they're gonna fear a lot of enemies around, which buys you time for the night to end. I have them from B to C.
B to C. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I have her in C also. The defense is terrible, but she can at least like do that clearing portion of the game, which I guess for a lot of commanders will actually synergize pretty well with. So equal contribution tier makes sense.
All right, both of you are in agreement with C. Let's put Han and Horner in the C tier. So, prestige wise, which one do you want here? First one?
Probably one, so you get the
Not 3.
at least
Anything
better
but 3.
minds. Yeah.
Okay, not the third one. So you have cheaper air strikers. Speaking of defense, Carax, where do you have him?
Carax, so he makes static defense, he doesn't die, and then he clears with Solar Lance and Observer, S tier.
How about you, Eviling?
Oh yeah, the P1 Carax diehards that play nothing but Dead of Night all the time, they're gonna love this one. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a pretty straightforward with their style of play. But of course, their style of play is save all your Spear of Adun for defending. Please don't do that.
Yeah. I was
Use
about
your
to
Solar
say,
of Adun stuff to clear.
still bad because they're
Yeah.
Carax is really good at clearing, but like if you're just gonna sit in your base doing nothing, You're wasting your commander. Anyway,
Yeah,
so we should
exactly. So if you play like that, then character's going to probably be C to D, but with some mindfulness, S to A.
okay, Karak's S tier. Prestige twice, you won the third one, right?
Yes.
Kerrigan, where do we have him?
P1, she has a means of keeping her mineral line alive. Uh, the malignant creep is going to help facilitate that, and it'll help you spread it to your ally. It's going to keep their mineral line alive, even if Black Death gets in. So, letting some stuff go through isn't too bad. It's definitely the enhanced healing of that malignant creep is going to be helpful for keeping all your other stuff alive. You're going to want lurkers for this. It's there. It The malignant creep will not out heal Black Death, but it'll slow it down significantly. So you'll still need to make queens in order to keep your lurkers alive. But preferably, you would build either position your lurkers appropriately on the high ground so that stuff can't get to them, or build a bunch of evolution chambers so that they just can't get to your lurkers. And then when the day comes around, you clear with Kerrigan. She can hop over the evolution chambers or hop over the cliff and then do the clearing. Um, for me, she is B to C.
B to C. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I have her in C tier also. I guess the nice thing is the worker. You don't even need P1 for that because, yeah, just any creep, the malignant one
Any malignant creep.
works. Yeah. Although with P1, believe it allows your Hydralisks to survive
Shoot
Black Death,
faster.
which shoot
Mhm.
faster too, but yeah. Well, it sounds nice, but the issue with that is still that you're using Hydralisk to defend from Speed Creep
Yes.
Infested, which, yeah, still isn't the prettiest, so which is why I think C tier.
Still C tier. Okay, both of you agree with C tier. Let's put Kerrigan in C tier. Prestige wise, first one, right?
I think so.
I can't be recommending the first prestige. But that's just because like you want the creep. You don't
The
mobility
defense
isn't
map.
yeah, mobility isn't as important as other maps, so first one is fine. Let's move on. Nova, S tier. Let's move on. Just kidding. Where do we have him?
Yeah, easy S.
Nova, so she only has to defend for like the first two nights because she just wins this map so quickly. The hero unit herself doesn't care about Black Death because she out heals it even without the upgrade. So you literally just pour all your money into defending the two nights, which really isn't that difficult. So yeah, she clears really fast. She defends well enough. Her defense isn't good, but it's good enough to last you two nights. So yeah, S tier.
Okay. How about you, Eveling?
Yep. S tier, P3. I mean, go out unhindered and just start laying sabotage drones and destroying Willie as you need be, and make siege tanks or liberators to defend at home, wall off when you can, and yeah, it should be fine.
Should be fine.
Uh,
S tier.
S,
You want third
yes,
prestige so that she has the super cloak, the super duper cloak actually,
yep.
the sabotager with a large radius, and the nuke with an incredible radius. Let's move on. Rainer, where do we have him?
Rainer, his methods of dealing with Black Death is bunkers. So, granted, if your infantry affected by Black Death before getting into the bunker, then they'll die inside the bunker.
At least they
And
won't spread
they'll
it.
spread the Black Death, yeah, to whatever's inside the bunker. So just keep it inside the bunker. Don't. It's safe and cozy inside. Don't go outside. Um, and then so you have your bunker wall. You can put your siege tanks down, so that should be able to keep things stable. You're still gonna want SCVs outside, which could potentially catch Black Death depending on certain comps. So yeah, just be ready to replace those as need be. As for clearing, you'd be using your call downs, and then once the day rolls out, yeah, just uh, drop stuff where you see fit in order to clear. In terms of which prestige to use, don't use one. Don't
Okay.
use one for this.
So letter.
Uh, I have Rainer from B to C.
How about you, Zero?
So I have him in B tier. He's kind of just like a lesser Arcturus. He has bunkers that are just worse than Arcturus. His clearing is just worse also. Because I'd probably recommend for the outside buildings to just use Banshees. Just drop them like on the outer ring of the map in the dead space, then just like cloak and then snipe the outside buildings. For the like more inner buildings, just use like the Hyperion and Duskwings. I still think you want P3 despite you spamming bunkers. I think just the reduction in the cooldown will be worth enough to because it will speed up your clearing quite a bit. But yeah, just spam bunkers, focus on not dying first of all, then just get your air units and yeah, clear the map slowly. Very slowly.
Okay, both of you have Rainer in
Uh,
B tier. Let's put Rainer in B tier. Prestige wise, which
Not-
one do you want here?
Yeah, three makes sense. Three makes the most
Third
sense.
prestige. All right, let's put Rainer in B tier.
Anything but one.
Stat boy, where do we have him?
Yeah.
Statman, so yeah, he doesn't really care about Black Death that much. His green zone just kind of out heals, maybe not on Gary himself, but the links, which will be the main thing you're making here. Now, with the scraps of the links that Gary will be munching on, because yeah, they'll die quite a bit probably. He will actually out heal Black Death just from the best oil, so yeah, he won't have to worry that much about dying. And then he just kind of moves through the map. He holds pretty well, even with just links. They stall enough, and then Gary just kind of runs around, kind of like just picking
Flies
up whatever
around.
he needs. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's S tier still.
Still S tier. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, Setman pretty much. But for in my opinion, I think Ultralists P3 Ultralists are going to be a much more easier time. They just during the night they just munch their healing, their attack damage. They just destroy, and it's just a matter of getting resources to get them out.
And they
And
out heal
from
COVID.
that point on, yeah.
Nice. Anyway,
As long as they're killing stuff.
so they just need to be constantly on the offense. Both of you have Stat boy in
Yeah.
S tier. Let's put Stat boy in S tier. You want the second prestige here. Let's move on. Stukov, where do we have him?
There's a chance that your trickle of infested could catch Black Death, and it leads all the way back into your base. So that's a problem. As I said, there's a chance of that, so not guaranteed. But yeah, the good thing is you're making bunkers, so they're not going to be getting Black Death unless they are afflicted by Black Death when they're uprooted. So, regardless, Stukov, he can slowly but surely whittle away at the map. You don't want to do it too slowly, because as it progresses past night 4, then things are going to get increasingly more difficult, especially with stanks and the nidus worms popping out. But I mean, it's nothing too horrendous. So I have him from A to B.
A to B. How about you, Zero?
I have him in B tier personally. I think he's pretty similar to Rainer, as in you just spam bunkers, hope you don't die, and then
Try
you
not
slowly
to
clear the
die,
map.
ever.
Which is why I have him in same tier.
So, wait, that's B tier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Both of you said B tier. Let's put Stukov in B tier. Prestige wise, you want the third one?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Swan, where do we have him?
Swan, so you make static defense, you don't die, then you clear with top bar. Kind of similar like a certain other commander we have in a certain tier. Wonder who that is. So yeah, S tier.
Okay. How about you, Eviling?
Oh yeah, all those P2 Swan enthusiasts playing Dead of Night all the time, they're gonna love this too. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just please don't save your concentrated beam for just defending. Use it to clear.
Okay.
Love
Swan
God.
in S tier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Prestige wise, you want the second one?
Yeah.
Preferably, yeah.
Okay. Swan S tier. Tychus, where do we have him?
Icus. So P2 is going to suffer because you're going to have to get a healer for this. Your outlaws are going to get infected. That's a given. Um, but I mean, if you're going, uh, you could go with double healer. With P1, I found you didn't need double healer because of how often the ability comes up. You with proper management, you'd be able to get it done without much fuss. And from that point on, Tychus kind of plays normally, other than making sure stuff doesn't get into your mineral lines. I have him from A to B.
A to B. How about you, Zero?
I have him in A tier also. What I think you should do here is just go for the Lone Wolf prestige, but still like group up most of your outlaws, and then just have like Sirius on like the other side, just holding on his own because he's good enough. Oh yeah, I think he's pretty good still. Of course, Odin clears a large portion of the map. Then yeah, once it's the day, he can kind of just push carefree. It's not like the fastest clearing, but it's fast enough. And yeah, his defense is solid enough, even if he uses units. So A tier makes sense.
Okay. Both of you put Tychus in A tier. Let's put Tychus in A tier. Prestige wise, you want the second one still? Or no
I'd
prestige?
say so. I'd say P2.
I wouldn't recommend it. I'm still leaning toward P1.
Okay, so you use whichever you prefer between the first one or the second one. If you use the second one, you have to make sure that the guy who's doing the other side is properly controlled. And still, you have to keep the healers on your outlaw. But like, uh, hmm, aren't the outlaws more expensive?
Yeah,
Yes.
1500
Yeah.
after once this discount's over. But do you need to have all outlaws available? I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of like playing P0, but you have your ability spam more available.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Vorazun, where do we have him?
No, it's her favorite mutator. Yeah,
Ovid.
so if she goes for anything that isn't P2, she just kind of dies and kills her ally alongside. Because, yeah, the cloaked units will just teleport in, then spread to your mineral line. Now, you can go P2 here. In fact, you should go P2 here, and then you just go Void Race. They technically outrange Black Death, but it's really awkward. And of course, the issue with
With
that
speed
is that you're
freaks?
making Void
Really?
Race. And yeah, Void Rays are terrible, and P2 reduces their damage even further, so they're even more terrible. So yeah, no matter what, she's just really bad here. So yeah, I think she's in F tier.
F tier. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I don't have Frozen to that high either, but I don't know about F tier. I have her from C to E. So um so P2 definitely keeps you alive. So even if due to the nature of it, if your stuff dies, has Black Death, they will be reduced down to 1 HP, but they won't fall below it, so they won't pop. And then, so what? Last time this mutation rolled, what I did was um, I would wall off with a Nexus at the front because yeah, you want, if anything does the death recall, then they recall at the forward Nexus, and then I would get my Stargate units out as soon as possible. So I would get during the night I'll be pumping out Corsairs and just rally them. I would have a Stargate at each of the entrances and just have the Corsairs rally to where I wall off, and then so they're just gonna be constantly casting the disruption web, buying time, so that when it comes down to the day, I just make a whole bunch of oracles, and they go out. They're gonna catch Black Death. Yeah, that's regardless. But because of P2, they're gonna be able to stay alive. And then the good thing is their attack is considered light attack, and the buildings in Dead
Dead
of
of
Night
Night,
are
light.
all classified with light armor. So they burn through it. It's just a matter of getting that horde of oracles to go through it, and you just focus on clearing all the buildings, especially when you can save your time stop for the day, so it extends the amount of time you have to clear during the day.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. That
it's
still
it's D to E.
sounds.
It's D. It's D to E.
I don't know. That still sounds worse than our E tiers. Considerably worse. I don't know.
Yeah, it is war.
Like
It's bad.
considerably worse. What do you think, Zero?
Uh, so I don't think she's D tier, that's for sure. E tier, I guess I can somewhat see because she can at least like defend, unlike the others, kind of.
Yeah, her
Uh,
defense is just about
yeah,
as bad as our Alarak and Artanis.
yeah. So I think she's worse at clearing than Artanis, but probably better at defense. So yeah, I guess it makes sense to have her that tier.
Uh,
It's still terrible.
okay. Both of you are okay with E tier? Let's put Vorza in E tier. But really, it should be E star because that's a very specific thing you're recommending. Like you need to know, like if you don't listen to this part of the tier list, and you just see Vorzun in E tier, you're gonna be misled because like I say every week that Vorzun is one prestige, is a third one, and now we're saying that to make Vorzun not F tier, you have to use the second prestige, so that you don't get the death recall, or at least when the thing's death recalls your base, your workers won't die. I don't know. Maybe E star? Because that sounds very specific. What we're recommending. Oracles?
That's oracles.
So what? Just E?
Just
Yeah,
E.
yeah,
Just
just E.
E.
It's if it's not. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Zagara, where do we have him?
Zagara. So the good thing for her Black Death, most of her units are suicide units, so they kind of don't really care if they get Black Death, if as long as you're not holding them for more than, I guess, keeping them around for more than, I get 10 seconds. Is that how long it takes a link to die to Black Death?
No, it's not. It's not HP per. It's percentage of full health. So like a Zergling
Right.
would die just about as quickly as a battlecruiser from COVID.
Oh, okay. Oh, just don't get your the lings and mainlings and other stuff that are ready to go out. To make sure they don't get Black Death if you're gonna hold them on for a little bit. But uh, yeah, her defense, how to defend. Bio launchers are a thing, and uh, they have good range. But you still have to wall off somehow. So either you can make a bunch of spine crawlers in front, or evolution chambers. It's not going to be the cleanest. I have her from C to D.
C to D. How about you, Zero?
I personally have her in C tier. I think she's similar to Han Horner, as in she clears very fast, but she has way better defense than Han Horner also, and clears about just as fast. Of course, it requires a lot more work because you need to know like I wouldn't say perfect route, but the general idea of where to go with Zagara. You're gonna go P3 here. I think that's just pretty much the only option. Other prestiges will be a lot worse, but the hero unit can hold one side by herself, and the other side you kind of just have a bile launcher shooting at where the infested clump, and that takes care of most of them. So yeah, you kind of just hoard up money, and then during the day you just clear, and that should allow you to clear within like 2 nights, maybe 3. So yeah, she's not good by any means. But I don't think she's like D tier bad. She's definitely closer to the C tiers, I'd say.
So C.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, both of you said C. Let's put Zagara in C tier. Zeratul, where do we have him?
Cannon's good. Yeah, you make cannons, you defend with cannons, you clear the objective with cannons. Yeah, cannons solve all your life problems, so S tier.
S tier. How about you, Eviling?
Oh yeah, S to A. Cannons can solve your marriage, can solve your taxes, and it's like what can't they do? So
Okay, so Zeratul S tier?
Yeah.
Alright.
yes,
You want the second prestige, right?
Yes.
yes.
Alright. So those are their commanders in their respective tiers. So, do we have a double S?
I guess like
I don't think
Karax could be
so.
double S. He doesn't really die and clears really fast if you know what you're doing for observers and solid lands.
And it's kind
You
of same
think
for
so?
Swan too.
Yeah. I guess Swan's
If
a bit
anything,
slower but has better defense. You're kind of in the same boat.
yeah. I mean,
We
there's
don't
a
have to
reason
make a
why they're
double S if there are
spammed on
none.
kind of like
It's like
It's
for
not a
them this is
requirement.
basically regular brutal, which pretty easy.
yeah. I wouldn't put them in double. It's just to spite the Dead of Night spammers.
Damn, fair enough.
But
Gotta
really,
respect it though.
we don't have to put them in double S if it's not, that level of it's so easy. Just
I mean,
because,
it is regular
No, it's-
you
brutal
can
for
still
them.
get screwed over by, for example, if you get stanks at the wrong time at the wrong spot, they can
I
get
get that.
through.
Yeah, it's definitely not that easy where it's just walking apart.
If you
gotta
get
put in
like
effort, and you
immortals,
gotta be able to.
yeah, I wouldn't say
Yeah,
double S.
makes sense.
So who's top of S?
Karax,
All right,
Yeah, repair being good.
and then
then Swan,
then
then Zeratul.
how long are you guys gonna hold off on Nova like that? Oh my Donnie.
Then Nova.
Yeah, Nova's gonna be next.
Yeah. And
Can't
I think
believe
that's
this.
right.
That's
All
right.
right.
Yeah.
Who's top of
That's right.
I think A tier's right.
A?
Mhm.
Abathur before Tychus? Sounds about
Yeah.
fair actually.
Yep.
Who's top of B?
Yep. Biomass good.
Rainer?
Bunkers and
Yeah.
the Hyperion. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
who's next?
Zukov.
Yeah, I guess Stukov. Phoenix is a lot harder to use.
Okay.
Single sending champs in.
All right. And then who's top of C tier?
The Haka, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. And then
Zagara?
Kerrigan? Oh, Zagara? Really? I'm worried about Zagara's defense past night 2.
You don't
Yeah,
defend past
Kerrigan's
night 2.
defense.
You win by then.
You win by
Or
then?
you die.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Sounds a lot like you have a timer on your head. But okay,
Yeah,
say
that's
Zagara,
why
then we'll
she's
put
trying to
Zagara.
go.
All the guys in CC are purple. Hot and Horn has purple hair.
Isn't that more like pink?
It's close enough.
Their commander palette is also purple.
Yeah. So Hot and Horner or Kerrigan?
I guess Kerrigan?
I'd say
She
Kerrigan.
defends
Yeah, I think Kerrigan as
better
well.
than Han
Better.
Corner.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
purpler than Han and Horner. There we go. So, do we move anyone to D tier?
No.
Okay,
Nah.
who's top of E?
Artanis?
Artanis. And then
Uh,
Alarak.
Vorazun?
Really? Vor's better than Alarak?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll go with it. I'm not opposed to that. I don't know what to think about those two.
They're all bad. There's a reason they're
Yeah.
down there.
Okay, so there it is. Guys, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it, also, please leave it in a comment. I'll see you guys next time.